Erra Cure. Yeah, of course, y'all know the self-titled was one of the few non-debut self-titles out there. Was actually one of the more genuinely really good stuff. And the first of the UNFD era was that one, and this is a continuation of that. And yes, this is kind of a follow-up in that regard. Um, the title track that opens this, which doesn't, I didn't really get into the really heavy stuff yet. Stuff in that regard, but they were progressive metalcore. And recently, I just saw a thing on the emo band thing that said something on them being. And yes, I'm aware this was a couple weeks ago. I've been sitting on it for a while. There wasn't too much that I'm not going to put in my catch up with catch up for this month, April. I still need to do the one for March, to be fair, and eventually we'll get to it. But this one, I liked it, but I wanted to love it. Compared to what I got out of the self-titled. Especially some of those covers that were on the deluxe of that. I don't know if there's going to be any deluxe stuff for this thing or not. I'm trying to think if there was any specific tracks. I'm thinking there was a single that was still while they were promoting self-titled, I think. That I don't know if it made it to this record or not, but can't remember the name of it, to be fair, but for sure. Also, if you hadn't noticed, new phone. For the bigger stuff, I'm going to eventually use it for this, where I don't need to use music. I'm starting to think I may have issues with that regard still. But for these smaller reviews, for this, I'll probably have to use this. So, but yeah, Erra's with 2 R's, by the way. Yeah, this rumor. I wasn't too sure with that one. The Rumor of the Light kind of hit in, and then Idlewild. One of their singles, Blue Reverie, is actually pretty good. I do think it's them attempting to do. Let me look here. I think it's more of them attempting to do Vanished Canvas, I think. Yeah. I think it's them attempting to do the Vanished Canvas track. And it does fine in that regard, I think, on that one. Slow Sour Bleed's interesting, definitely a little more industrial. Wish, which is super short, and I think leads into Glimpse. Past Life Persona, I think, is one of my favorites on here, personally. And then I think another single was Crawl Backwards Out of Heaven. Was pretty decent. Pale Iris, which is, I think, the lead on this particular album, was pretty good. Wave is an interesting closer. But, I mean, I still enjoy this record very much, but overall, I don't know if I enjoy it nearly as much as the last record. I do think ever since Self-Titled, they were able to finally blossom a little bit more, creatively speaking, or at least found a way to blend certain ideas they had while under the Sumerian era that finally blossomed and come together pretty well in a way that, like, I feel like I was kind of bummed that them at their best full length wise wasn't quite there until Self-Titled for me, or at least the only time during a discography run that I liked their last Sumerian album, which was Neon, but I mean that one felt a little bit too safe for them, I guess, and it seemed like they were being pushed to do more radio friendly-ish stuff. Whereas this record seems to be a better balance of all that. What that record was a better balance of all this. This is just a continuation from that into other territories, experimentally up to a point, and it's fine. But overall, I enjoyed this record. I'm at least at least enough I can say that after a few other extra listens, I'm at least willing to give it a light horns up. I can't give it masterclass. It was like that's the strongest and at the weakest, I would say. Light, keep it real. So it's kind of ranging in there for me. But I like it. I wish I could say I loved it more than the last Erra record, which did make my top 10 of that year. It had come out, which was in 2022, I believe. This is 2024. Yeah, it was 2022. So, yeah, this was good, but not as great, not to the level of greatness bordering masterclass that the self-titled was for me. But which is weird to say of a band that it wasn't their debut. But I do think it was a good mission statement, and that made sense for that record. But for this, I don't. Cure's fine. I like it, but not as I was wanting to like it more because of coming off a self-titled. But it's still good. It's still very solid with from Erra again. So definitely still worth checking out. So. What did you guys think of this new Erra album? Leave a comment below. Let me know. As always, guys, keep it random, keep it real, keep it rocking. I'll see you next video. Take care, y'all.